Today's episode of Yolk'd has been brought to you by MSI and their newest gaming notebook, the GS60 Ghost. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Yolk'd. I'm Steve.
No. Hold on a second.
What are you looking at?
Oiling all over the place.
Whoa, what are you?
My goodness, like a geyser. Give me a second.
Do
dab,
not
dab, dab,
want.
dab, dab, dab.
What is this?
Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Gotta get every drop of oil off of your face.
Smells like tea tree oil.
Ah, the evidence.
Oh, Mark Zuckerberg, you're still that little kid on the playground, aren't you? Creating an artificial candy shortage at recess so that all of your simple-minded, swing-stealing peers can come to you for their sugar-induced comas. Most people get past this petty behavior by the time they're adults, but not our Marky Mark. He still wants to collect all the shiny toys so that people will love him. This time, instead of candy, it's an innovative technology everyone's raving about, the Oculus Rift. Facebook has just bought the virtual reality gaming firm for $2 billion. Since Facebook's philosophy and business model doesn't sit well with tech enthusiasts, the backlash from this has been overwhelming. Notch, the creator of Minecraft, canceled a version of this popular game for the Oculus, stating on Twitter, quote, "Facebook creeps me out." Because of Facebook's rigid structure of being focused on driving up user count, many developers are concerned that this model will destroy creativity. We suspect that Zuckerberg eagerly gobbled up the Oculus Rift because he wants his company to not just be part of the internet, but the future of the internet itself. I wonder what Sony will think about this. They probably couldn't come up with a marketing strategy this good if they tried.
Here's either the most astounding case of dedication you've ever seen, or the weirdest episode of Hoarders ever. Marion Stokes was a woman with a passion to preserve the TV she watched regularly to excessive levels. How excessive, you say? How does 40,000 VHS tapes sound? Most of those tapes feature a show called Input that Stokes co-produced for a local CBS affiliate network between 1968 and 1971. Stokes recently passed away, and I'm assuming that the collection didn't make it to her will. They found their way instead to Trevor Von Stein, a volunteer for the Internet Archive. He has appointed himself the tedious task of going through all the tapes, a job many might consider pointless. Interestingly enough, the show that Marion taped so diligently does feature many noteworthy people, including the first psychiatrist to have challenged the view that homosexuality was a mental illness. What? For Trevor, the work may be tedious, but he considers it very important. In his mind, it's better to preserve this slice of history, however small. The point is not to just cherry-pick what we deem important after all. In the age of everything turning to digital only, older formats of media must catch up or be left behind. Whatever we manage to preserve before it's too late will give us a bigger window to the past when we need it. Welcome back to another DIY combo pick by Paul's Truly. So what's he got for us today, Steve?
Actually, it's a pretty sick build. It's a maximum PC blueprints for a nice budget build. Let's get right into the parts. First up is the chassis by NZXT. It's the Source 210 in white, a Gigabyte GA970A D3P AM3 Plus motherboard from Gigabyte, an MSI GeForce GTX 660 with 2 GB of GDDR5 RAM. We have a Corsair CX 500 watt power supply, also it's 80 plus bronze, an AMD FX 6300 Vishera CPU. For memory, we have G-Skill's Ripjaws X Series 8GB kit, DDR3 1333. For storage, we have one Kingston HyperX 3K 120GB SSD and a Seagate Barracuda 1TB 7200 RPM drive. Nvidia hosted its annual GPU Technology Conference this week in San Jose, California, and we wanted to give you a brief rundown on what was covered just in case you missed it. Since Nvidia makes GPUs, a lot of time was spent emphasizing how they could be used in supercomputing, life sciences, energy exploration, molecular dynamics, and big data analytics. While these tasks might seem a bit broad for our PC gamers at home, fear not. There was news for the consumer segment as well. Although we've only just seen the very first Maxwell-based GPUs hit the market, Nvidia has released some limited information about Pascal, Maxwell's successor. They've pointed to system bottlenecks that limit GPU performance, such as CPU memory bandwidth and the PCI Express bus. For Pascal to flex its GPU compute muscles, Nvidia is developing NVLink, a high-speed interconnect that could increase CPU to GPU bandwidth by 5 to 12 times. Also mentioned was a 3D stacking method for packaging DRAM memory chips, which would be integrated alongside the GPU to double memory capacity and deliver a huge leap in bandwidth and efficiency. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang emphasized Pascal's use not just for gaming, but also for video search, analytics, image detection, face and gesture recognition, speech recognition, and translation. Now on to Joanne for the rest of GTC. Joanne?
Already there, Steve. If you're looking for hardware you can hold in your hand, you might be interested in Nvidia's Jetson Tk Development Kit. It includes a Tegra K1 GPU development board and VisionWorks software development kit for $192. That's just $1 per GPU core, folks. Nvidia hopes that this kit will encourage the development of embedded applications with the Tegra K1. Tasks like driver assistance, computational photography, augmented reality, and robotics, just to name a few. Speaking of driver assistance, an Audi A7 drove itself onto the stage during the keynote with self-driving software on board being powered by a Tegra K1. But we know what you guys are really drooling over after the keynote. Nvidia announced yet another Titan graphics card, and this one is an absolute beast. Rage! The Titan Z will feature not one, but two GK110 GPUs, a massive cooling solution, and an equally formidable $3,000 price tag. The two Kepler GPUs in the Titan Z sport a total of 5,760 CUDA cores and 12 gigabytes of video memory. This equates to up to 8 teraflops of GPU compute performance in one card, and it's designed for next-generation 5K and multi-monitor gaming, according to Nvidia. I want one. I want 10, so I can hoard like Paul does. Unfortunately, we still had no news about Maxwell-powered 800 series graphics cards from Nvidia as of press time, but we'll be sure to bring you all the info we can as soon as it is available. So, what is that delicious thing you offered me the other day?
Oh, how about some mango, Joanne?
Ooh, what is this?
Dried mango? You never had it?
What is this?
It looks like dried tongues to me, but it's actually quite tasty. You should try some. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this episode of Yolk'd. Thank you guys so much for watching. And Joanne, do you have any other closing thoughts before we part ways?
No, this is actually really good.
Oh, you like the mango?
Surprisingly dry, barky looking, and then, you could just... Anyway, it's very delicious, yes.
Fantastic. Well, don't forget, you guys, we have more content coming very soon. Tomorrow is Friday. That means the Alt-Tab live show at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on our Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv/Newegg. Also, we have Yolk'd on Tuesdays and Thursdays, as well as Q&A'd on Wednesdays. Thanks again, you guys, for watching, and you've just been Yolk'd.
Yay!
I said I look like a snake if I was sitting in a button-up shirt.
Hey, why don't we start moving like snakes?
Looks like I have an itchy butt when I do
Isn't
that.
that kind of funny? It's like, oh, we're snaky. Yeah. Huzzah! Huzzah!